Day four definitely lived up to the expectations that everyone had. The game is completely in the balance again. I want to focus on a few things. The first one being Pat Cummins, absolutely showing his class and stepping up for this Australian bowling outfit. We'll get his stats up here, and you can see he bowled the majority of the fast bowling overs there. Hazelwood just a 10. Scott Boland did get hit around a little bit again, like he did in the first innings, and not really having the impact. And personally, I don't think bowling as well as he has for the rest of his early test career so far. So Pat took it upon himself to really get this team going, bowled a bunch of incredible deliveries to get some wickets, and was just always on the money. So my thoughts on him, both in the first innings and the start of this second innings, we can wipe them away because he absolutely erased that with his incredible bowling in this one. The economy rate was down a little bit as well at 3.44. And 4 for 63 off his 18.2. Was able to get the ball to move back in a lot. Obviously, an incredible Yorker, in-swing Yorker there to Ollie Pope. And I watched it multiple times and still had the same whoa, response each and every time. So, yeah, that was incredible. And we'll kick off with that to start with and their innings. And Ollie Pope's 14 off 16 looked really, really good for that until he got an absolute peach from Cummins for that one. But, the rest of the English batsmen, obviously Bazball, great in a lot of ways, but I really think that they threw away a massive lead in this innings. You look at Joe Root, batting absolutely incredibly at the moment. I don't know if there's a guy that's in more form than Joe Root at the moment. Obviously, he has the silky gameplay. He's incredible to watch with that. The scoop, the reverse scoop that he has, you cannot say anything about that. He hasn't got out to it yet. He seems to hit it for 4 or 6 the majority of times. Hilarious that he played at first ball. Just shows the new age and the new way that they play their cricket. But I believe it's the first time that he's actually got stumped in a game. A few people were telling me, which is a crazy stat. I didn't look anything further into it, but his shot, a lot of these other guys' shot. Harry Brook, he seems to have. He's an incredible batsman as well, Harry, but seems to have that shot in him where it's not needed. A lot of the other ones, just incredible shot. Coming down the wicket, playing over cover. I have no issues with that shot as well at all. That's amazing. Picking the right ball to do that is awesome. But those ones that are that one he got out on, it's just an awkward length, and he's trying to half sweep it, and it's just you're scoring almost a run of ball without playing stupid shots, and that just seemed like a stupid one to me. When he could clearly, easily, so much talent, bat for so long. Balls that other people wouldn't hit over the top. He can do it with ease. You watch him bat, it's just incredible. Very much the same with Joe Root. He was just playing a lot through the legs, through the leg side on the ground, playing his back cuts. Very, very simple. Obviously, his scoops over the top. And then just a brain explosion there to come down the wicket to Nathan Lyon and just decided to keep going through it. He knew he was running at him before he even saw where the flight was. So, that happens sometimes, and that's fine. But he would have known that he was going to be nowhere near it, and he's like, stuff it, I'm just going to go with it anyway. And that was a mistake. So I really think that England blew a bigger lead here. What's funny, though, is I called that, I said Aussies hopefully get England out for about 260, 270 and have a 270, 280 lead and end up with a 280 lead. So, very much on point in that one. And shows that, it can be a little bit more difficult to bat in a second innings. But I really think that, England probably looked as good as they did in that first innings. Obviously, Root, got out early, and if he stayed in, if Brook continued to go on with that partnership that they were having there, I think that they have a lead of 350 to 400 pretty comfortably. Stokes came out and batted a lot better, and the tail had to wag for them to do well, and that's something interesting as well, as their tail is much improved. Ollie Robertson actually looks like a pretty solid batter, and then even Anderson came out with 12, Broady the 10 there as well. So I just really think they didn't take their chances in this one. Pope, the only one really that didn't get himself out. Harry got himself out. Joe got himself out. Stokesy really took the game upon himself and then got a really good ball from Pat. So there's obviously a mixture of that in there as well, with Pat just bowling really, really well. Bairstow, the 20 off 39. Again, a reverse sweep to get out. So, Moeen Ali, short one. Hazy doesn't look himself, to be honest with you. He did come back and bowl that sort of 3 or 4 over spell there off short stuff and looked really sharp. The ball was kind of, talking for him, getting good carry through the wicket. But that first spell, he didn't get to bowl a lot. So it's going to be interesting what they do with him, what they do with Scott Boland heading into the second test. But we'll obviously talk about that when we look at the preview there. Nathan Lyon bowled pretty well as well to get his 4 for 80 going a 3.33 in this Bazball style era was really, really good. And I think that, we mentioned a day or two ago that Lyon was going to be the difference here. And we're going to have to see what our good man Moeen Ali can do for the English in reply to Lyon's terrific bowling stint there on a day 5 pitch. And this first session is going to be absolutely incredible. Hope you all tune in, 8 p.m. Sydney time anyway. And I had a few mates actually went to the game yesterday, so that was they said it was the best day of cricket they've seen, the best atmosphere they've been. So kudos to the English crowd for doing their thing. But that's point 2. Just wasn't really happy with how easily England could have just made this out of reach for the Australians. They get an extra 50 to 80 runs pretty comfortably, and I think Aussies lose this match. Whereas right now, WinViz has it 43% for Aussies, 46 for England, 11 for the draw. And I just can't see a draw happening unless there's some type of rain. But my third point I wanted to make here was that how important Stuart Broad is. And he got a few wickets in that first innings, seems to get them in clumps, which is exactly what they need. And there was talk of actually leaving him out of this first test. And I just think that he is their most influential bowler, the one that the Aussies fear the most, the one that can get multiple wickets in clumps, as I said there. And he was able to do it again in this one, getting Marnus and Steve Smith out. You look at Australia's first innings, and he was able to get both David Warner and Labuschagne out in quick succession there, and then got Scott at the end. So picked up the 3 wickets. He's going at under 3 and over. He just looks more damaging than what Robinson and Anderson do. So at the moment. So I really think that Broad he just seems to be a guy that just takes wickets. He's obviously clearly in the top 10 for wicket takers ever, and obviously one of the best quicks to ever play the game. But he still has that in his game. The other thing I wanted to mention is it seems like Marnus especially, but him and Smith just don't have it in this test. Well, they didn't have it at all. Obviously, clearly they both got pretty low scores in both their innings. But Marnus got a few gifts fairly early. He got a short one from Moeen Ali there. He had a couple of reverse sweeps, which worked out well for him. But 13 or 15, makes it look a bit better getting those 3 4s in that one. But what is he doing? He's just obviously it's a little bit of an outswinger from Broad, just like that first innings. But why is he's standing in front of his stumps and he's still chasing it like half a meter? Yes, 50 to 70 centimeters there outside his stumps. It just seems weird. It's not how he plays. So I think he's really out of sorts in these 2 innings. And I hope that he comes back and fixes it up and, checks the tape and go, I thought he would have fixed it up given that he was standing in front of his stumps. But it just wasn't to be. So that's the 4th point there that, Marnus and Smithy both playing outside their body for some reason. Both guys that do end up batting in front of their stumps and are very good on the leg side. But the little outswinger to get Marnus out, and then Smithy just Broad with his angled back in, a little bit of swing, and Smithy just being out of sorts with his footwork. So very, very strange here on that one. But it was such a terrific start to then lose 3 very quickly. A special shout out to Scott Boland, the 13 off his 19 balls there. Lovely cut shot and a good nick. That was funny. He's nicked it. It's just a pretty clear outside edge, and he's looked to the leg side like where the ball goes. That was funny. But for him to get 13 runs there and actually last out overnight rather than having to send Travis Head in. What I thought was pretty interesting though, there's 5-6 overs left with him facing 19 balls, facing more than 3 overs himself. To not send someone in and likely in that scenario the Scott would have got out. So it worked out well, but I feel like it could have been bad. Like Scott could have came and got out. Head comes in and has to face a couple overs anyway. So didn't rate that too much. But Warner come out with Uzi, and they both started great. 36 off the 57 there for Warner. Gets a nick in this one. It was actually just a good ball. It left him just enough to get an edge, so I'm not going to beat down on Warner in this one. But it was coming back towards off stump and just seemed away just a little bit. So can't give him too much crap there. Defense wasn't the worst I've seen from him, so that's that. But Uzi, the last point here. This is where we're going to find out what Uzi's made of. We know he's made of the good stuff, but how good is it? Is it premium quality Calvin Klein underwear, or is it the Bonds? Let's say that anyway. Uzi 34 here after the big ton in that first innings. If he can come out and hit a ton and win this match for the Australians, he'll go down as one of Aussie's better players ever. And this will go down as one of the best Test matches Obviously, it'll be the best Test match of his career, but it'll go down in folklore as one of the the best chases and the best matches in by a single player in an Ashes Test match. So he has that opportunity tomorrow. Tonight there. 34 off the 81. He's been able to settle in. He's faced a lot of balls. That's I think he's just ticked over 400 balls for the match, and really good that he could make it through to the end of the night. He gets a nice rest here and comes out, and all he knows to do in this Test match is he just has to bat the innings. If he bats the innings, it's 174 runs to win. He picks up 80 of those. He gets 110, and Aussies win. So the stage is set for that. And then it's obviously going to come down to, you're not going to put a lot on Scotty, but if he can pick up another 5 or 7 runs, if he can get to sort of 20 or so himself, get this down to about 150, and then we've got 6 wickets from there to win this Test match with, Travis Head, again, the stage is set for him to come out and show what he's made of. Alex Carey, we know, has been great. And then Cameron Green, if he can have some type of contribution there as well. But, hopefully winning this before having to get down to Pat Cummins, because if we can get it before that, obviously amazing. If we get to Pat and we lose another one there, we're into those, the last couple of bowlers there with Scotty not available there to bat, and obviously he's in there now. So, an incredible first session this is going to be. I think good chance there if England win this Test match, we'll be all over it by the end of that first session. And if the Aussies get through that first set, I think that they win this Test match. So I can't wait to watch, and I hope you enjoy the proceedings and you're enjoying these videos. If you are enjoying, guys, make sure you do comment below. Just let me know what your thoughts were on the day, what your important points were, and how important this inning and how excited I am personally, and how you are to see Aussie come out and win this Test match for Australia. Enjoy, guys.